Beloved chosen one, pause right here. Heaven itself is leaning in. You didn't stumble into this moment by chance. This encounter has been written in eternity. There's a stirring in your spirit, a whisper echoing louder than your thoughts. Do it now. The first divine task for 2026 has been released and your name is on it. The Spirit of God is not speaking to everyone right now. He's speaking to you. There are thousands scrolling, but heaven halted you here because your assignment is active. You've been sensing it for weeks, that inner pull to begin, to change, to step out. It has not left your mind because it is divine. Heaven is summoning your obedience. You are not like the rest. You were never designed to live in comfort zones, to linger and delay, or to remain in the middle ground between calling and complacency. Every chosen one reaches a moment when hesitation must die. That moment is now. The same voice that formed galaxies has declared movement over your life. When he said, "Do it now," he wasn't asking for discussion, he was commanding activation. Think of how many times in 2025 you told yourself, "I'll do it later." Those moments were not lost, they were lessons. God was revealing how delay drains destiny. Every time you postponed your purpose, something inside of you dimmed a little. But this year, divine timing and divine obedience collide. 2026 begins not with your plans, but with your yes. Listen closely, there's a sound rising in your spirit, almost like thunder beneath the surface of your chest. It's not anxiety, it's awakening. Heaven is breaking through the walls of your hesitation. The Spirit is saying, move before the miracle, act before the answer, speak before the sign. Faith is motion before manifestation. This is your cue. You've been through the fires of refinement. Every silent tear of 2025 was a seed. Every unseen prayer was a deposit in heaven's vault. You weren't just surviving, you were being prepared. The isolation, the misunderstandings, the long nights, they weren't punishment. They were consecration. Heaven was cutting away what could not come with you into 2026 now. The wilderness has served its purpose. It's time to emerge. Chosen one, you've been anointed for assignment. Your hesitation ends today. Every excuse that once felt valid now feels heavy, doesn't it? Because your spirit knows the truth, you were created for movement. God has already gone before you. The path is prepared, Sargunam, but it remains invisible until you walk it. Your obedience activates revelation. Every step you take in faith causes the unseen to unfold. Heaven isn't waiting for your strength. Heaven is waiting for your surrender. You might not feel ready, but readiness is not the requirement, obedience is. God never called the qualified. He qualifies the called. He's asking for your faith, not your perfection. You've spent years gathering courage when you were meant to simply trust. The voice of God thunders even now through the same Spirit that spoke to the prophets of old. And as it was proclaimed in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30, verse 19, I have set before you life and death, blessings and curses. Now choose life, so that you and your children may live. That word is not history, it's instruction. Heaven has laid before you a choice to delay again, or to do it now. Choosing life means choosing obedience. When you act, you breathe divine energy into everything connected to you. When you move, your lineage moves. Every chain that held your family begins to break the moment you step forward in faith. You are not just obeying for yourself, you are obeying for generations. Don't wait for the perfect conditions. The miracle will meet you as you move. The sea didn't part before Moses lifted his staff. It parted when he did. The oil didn't flow until the widow poured. The breakthrough didn't come to Paul and Silas until they praised in the prison. Heaven moves through motion. And now heaven is watching your response. Angels stand ready, waiting for your yes. The Lord of hosts has already spoken your name in the council of heaven. Every time you hesitate, delay gains power. But every time you obey, destiny gains speed. This year, hesitation will no longer hold you hostage. The command has been given. The window is open. The hour is now. So, if this message pierces your heart, don't scroll past it. Respond. Declare your obedience. Like this message to spread the fire. Share it to awaken another chosen one. And comment the number 26 below, not as a number, but as your covenant. Your yes, Lord, for the first divine task of 2026. And if your spirit knows this was for you, subscribe and stay close, because heaven will not stop speaking. This is your moment, your command, your awakening. Heaven has already said it. Do it now. You were never average. You feel it deep inside, though you've tried to silence that truth for years. From the very beginning, there has been something different about you, something that refused to blend in, something that could never be fully explained by logic or upbringing. You were marked long before you knew your own name. Heaven carved purpose into your DNA. And even when the world tried to convince you otherwise, your spirit never stopped whispering, I was made for more. There were moments in your life when you tried to be like everyone else. You tried to hide your light just to be accepted, to speak softer so you wouldn't stand out, to walk slower so no one would accuse you of trying to lead. But every attempt to dim your radiance only created friction in your soul. You can't unchoose what heaven has chosen. When God selects a vessel, He doesn't consult the opinions of people. He simply anoints. The evidence of that anointing has been following you for years. The storms that should have broken you only sharpened you. The rejection that should have ended you only redirected you. The seasons that looked like loss were actually molding you into a weapon of light. You've carried a weight others couldn't handle, endured battles others couldn't survive, and yet here you stand, still breathing, still believing, still burning. That's not coincidence. That's calling. You may not always understand why your journey has been harder, why you've been misunderstood, or why certain people couldn't walk with you into the next season. But you must realize your path is narrow because your purpose is specific. Ordinary paths can be crowded, but chosen paths are refined. You were never called to fit in with comfort. You were called to walk with conviction. Chosen one. Heaven doesn't raise average people. Heaven raises anomalies, those who disturb the patterns of darkness simply by existing. That's why people feel your energy before you speak. That's why some are drawn to you while others are intimidated. The light within you exposes what hides in others. You are a walking revelation of what God can do with someone who refuses to quit. You've noticed that even when you try to walk away from purpose, something always calls you back. You could be in the middle of a distraction, yet conviction finds you. You could be at your lowest point, yet something in you refuses to die. That something is not just strength, it's divine assignment. Heaven will not allow you to disappear when your mission is still unfolding. Think of the moments when you cried out, asking God, why me? Why can't I just live a normal life? The answer has always been the same, though perhaps unspoken because you were never meant to be normal. You are heaven's proof that grace chooses the unexpected. God delights in using those the world overlooks. He hides His glory in broken vessels so that when they rise, the world can only say, surely, this was the hand of God. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah, saying in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 1, verse 5, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations. These words are not ancient history, they are divine identity. You were known before conception, chosen before birth, and assigned before experience. God's knowledge of you precedes your failures, your doubts, your mistakes. He didn't choose you because of your perfection. He chose you because of your potential. Every detour you've taken, every fall you've survived, has already been factored into your destiny. You see, the enemy has always feared your awareness. If he could convince you that you're ordinary, he could neutralize your power. But the moment you remember who you are, the kingdom of darkness trembles. Because identity births authority. Once you recognize that heaven has already validated you, human validation loses its grip. You stop chasing approval and start carrying presence. You stop striving for visibility and start living from victory. This is why life has tested you so fiercely. Diamonds are formed under pressure. Warriors are trained in battle. Prophets are purified in isolation. What others call abandonment, God calls refinement. What others see as rejection, heaven calls redirection. Every painful chapter in your story has been a sculptor's hand shaping the vessel for glory. And now, as you enter this new year, you must finally accept the truth you've been avoiding. Being chosen is both a privilege and a weight. It means being seen by heaven and resisted by hell. It means walking roads few will understand. But it also means walking with God in dimensions few will ever touch. You carry divine fire, and that fire cannot coexist with mediocrity. So breathe deeply. Stand tall. You don't need to prove that you're chosen, you simply need to live like it. Let your obedience speak louder than explanation. Let your walk become your witness. Heaven already called your name. All of creation is waiting for your manifestation. You remember the silent battles of 2025, the nights when you smiled in public but wept in secret. The moments when you encouraged others while privately questioning if God still remembered your name. The world saw your composure, but heaven saw your scars. Every invisible wound you carried became an altar where God prepared something eternal. You didn't know it then, but you were being trained in the unseen. Those silent battles were never punishment. They were preparation. God was not ignoring your pain. He was shaping your power. Every unanswered prayer, every delay, every heartbreak refined your spirit. What you thought was abandonment was actually refinement. The silence you endured was not the absence of God's voice. It was the weight of His instruction. When heaven goes quiet, it's not because God is gone, it's because He is teaching you to hear Him differently. Chosen one. You must understand this: hidden seasons are holy seasons. The world calls them isolation, but heaven calls them incubation. When Joseph sat in the pit, when David hid in the cave, when Elijah fled to the wilderness, each of them thought they were forgotten. But in those silent places, God was carving identity deeper than applause could ever reach. And that's exactly what He did with you in 2025. Every tear you shed watered the soil of your next assignment. Every moment you thought you were losing ground, you were actually being rooted deeper in faith. Heaven didn't waste a single day of your pain. The battles you fought in silence are the reason you'll carry victory in public. God never lets suffering be pointless. He always repurposes it into strength. You survived nights that should have ended you. You carried burdens too heavy for one person, yet somehow you're still standing. Do you realize what that means? It means grace was fighting beside you even when you didn't feel it. It means angels surrounded you when you thought you were alone. It means your survival was never your doing. It was evidence that destiny refused to let you die. Now look at you. Stronger, wiser, softer in heart but sharper in spirit. The same things that once broke you now bow to you. That is the mark of transformation. You have shifted from being a survivor of battles to a steward of victories. And though your scars still exist, they no longer speak of pain, they testify of purpose. The ancient words recorded in the book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 14. Still thunder with truth, the Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. You see, in 2025, you learned what stillness really means. It's not the absence of motion, it's the presence of trust. Stillness is faith that no longer flinches at delay. It's the kind of surrender that says, even if I don't see it, I know He's working. That was the secret lesson hidden in your darkest nights. God was teaching you how to rest in His sovereignty while the storm raged around you. And now, as 2026 begins, those silent battles have become your training grounds. You're not walking into this new year empty. You're walking in armed. Your discernment has sharpened. Your prayer life has deepened. Your faith has matured. The same silence that once felt suffocating has now become your sanctuary. You no longer panic when heaven is quiet, because you've learned that silence often precedes revelation. But hear this, the pain you endured wasn't just for you. Every chosen one's struggle carries generational impact. Your endurance has broken curses you never knew existed. Your persistence has birthed breakthroughs for people who will never know your name. Heaven saw your endurance and wrote it into history. This is why the enemy fought you so relentlessly last year, because he saw the kind of power that would rise once you realized what your suffering meant. The moment you understand that pain is not your enemy but your sculptor, you become unstoppable. The enemy doesn't fear your comfort, he fears your clarity. And now, clarity is your portion. So as you stand here in the aftermath of battles only heaven witnessed, remember this: the silence didn't mean God forgot you. It meant He trusted you. He knew you would endure without applause. He knew you would still pray without proof. And because you remained faithful, the reward of visibility is now being released. Now let this be your declaration in the comments: I'm still standing. Write it as a testimony, not a phrase. Because when you type those words, you are announcing to every force that tried to bury you that it failed. You are declaring to heaven and hell alike that your faith outlasted the storm. I'm still standing isn't just a comment, it's your banner of victory. The proof that even in silence, God was fighting for you. So lift your head. Chosen one. The battles of 2025 no longer define you, they have refined you. You are walking into 2026 not wounded but weaponized. Every scar now carries fire, every tear now carries wisdom. You've emerged from the silence not as the same person, but as the version of yourself that heaven always intended you to become. Heaven's clock has moved. You can sense it, time itself feels different. The same hours that once dragged now seem to rush forward, as though creation itself is aware that something has shifted. The air around you carries a quiet urgency, and deep within your spirit you know that delay has expired. You're standing on the edge of a divine intersection where heaven and earth align, and the voice of God whispers. Now, there are moments in history when God accelerates His plans, and 2026 is one of them. This is not an ordinary year. This is a year where the pace of heaven meets the obedience of His chosen ones. The spiritual clock that once ticked softly is now striking loudly. Every prophetic word, every promise you've been carrying, this is the time when they begin to unfold. The pause is over. The waiting season has accomplished its purpose. For too long, you've mistaken delay for denial. You thought heaven was ignoring you when, in truth, it was preparing you. God was not holding your blessings back. He was aligning the moment so that what He gives you will not be lost through immaturity or fear. You had to grow into the very promise you were praying for. Every day of waiting was divine strategy, not punishment. Chosen one. Understand this: heaven operates on its own timeline. While you were watching the calendar, God was shaping the clock of destiny, so every second of waiting was purposeful. But now, the hands of time have shifted. The internal rhythm of heaven has quickened, and those who are sensitive will feel it first. That's you. You can sense movement in the unseen. Things are being rearranged, doors are unlocking, and divine connections are forming even now. You are entering a season where what once took years will happen in months. What once took months will happen in weeks. And what once seemed impossible will unfold suddenly. This is what happens when divine timing meets divine readiness. Heaven never delays without reason, and it never moves without acceleration. When the fullness of time arrives, everything responds to God's command. But acceleration requires alignment. You cannot carry yesterday's habits into a season of divine momentum. You cannot cling to indecision when heaven is moving in precision. God is calling you to synchronize your steps with His. This means cutting ties with procrastination, fear, and unbelief. You must walk as though the promise has already been fulfilled, because faith always walks ahead of sight. The ancient wisdom found in Ecclesiastes chapter 3. Verse 1 declares there is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. These words are more than poetic, they are prophetic instruction. Everything in your life operates within seasons, and recognizing when one season ends is as vital as embracing when another begins. Heaven's clock is not bound by human timelines. God can compress decades into days when He finds a heart that's ready. You are being invited to move in rhythm with His divine tempo. Think about it for years. You've carried visions that felt distant. You've prayed prayers that seemed unanswered. You've held promises that felt suspended in midair. But what if those prayers weren't ignored? What if they were simply waiting for now? Heaven's yes always comes at the moment when purpose and preparation meet. The delay wasn't denial, it was design. The Spirit of God is saying, you have been prepared for what's about to appear. You are being refined in obscurity so that when manifestation comes, you can handle it with grace. The season of waiting was your training ground. The season of release is your battlefield. You were being made ready to hold what others drop, to carry what others fear, and to move at a speed only the obedient can sustain. This is why the weight feels heavier lately, not because you're failing, but because the tempo of your calling has increased. Heaven is expanding your capacity to move faster without breaking. The pressure you feel is evidence that the clock has turned. You are no longer in delay, you are in deployment. So don't misinterpret the urgency as anxiety, and it's not stress, it's prophecy. You are hearing the sound of divine acceleration. Heaven's clock has struck your hour. Every loose thread of your past is being tied together by unseen hands. Every no that once frustrated you will soon make sense. The opportunities that bypassed you before are circling back, this time with divine confirmation. Chosen one, do not hesitate when doors begin to open quickly. You prayed for movement, and now heaven is responding with momentum. Walk boldly through the openings before you, because when the clock of heaven moves, it does not wait for hesitation. This is your moment in divine history. What others see as sudden has been in God's calendar all along. You have entered the appointed time, the intersection of preparation and promise, of patience and fulfillment. Heaven's clock has moved, and this time, it's moving with you. The mantle awakens. You feel it stirring inside you, not as a distant idea, but as a living fire. What once felt like quiet conviction is now becoming a holy urgency. The anointing that once rested gently upon your shoulders now burns like flame, refusing to be ignored. This is not imagination, chosen one. This is divine activation. Heaven is breathing upon your calling again, saying, "It is time." The mantle you carry is not a title, not a ministry name, not even a role. It is a weight of divine responsibility. It's the invisible garment that distinguishes you in the spirit, the same way Elijah's cloak marked him as a prophet of fire. It's the mark that says, "This one belongs to heaven's mission." You didn't ask for it, but it found you. It followed you through the wilderness, through heartbreak, through years of silence, waiting for this moment of awakening. You see, a mantle doesn't awaken when life is easy. It stirs when obedience becomes costly. It rises when God finds in you a heart willing to act, even when the way is unclear. You've reached that point. You've wrestled long enough. Now heaven is demanding movement, because the mantle is not meant to be admired, it's meant to be used. The fire you carry terrifies the darkness. That's why life has felt like a battlefield. The resistance wasn't random, it was recognition. Hell attacks what heaven anoints. Every storm you've survived was the enemy's failed attempt to bury your purpose. Yet here you are, stronger, wiser, unshakably aware that something sacred is awakening inside you. The voice of Scripture confirms what your spirit already knows. As the Apostle Paul wrote in 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 14, "Do not neglect the gift that is in you." Those words pierce through time. They're not just advice, they are commandment. God is not asking you to admire your gift. He is urging you to activate it. You have carried potential long enough. Heaven is not looking for another dreamer. It's looking for a doer. Every gift you hide becomes a silent prison. But every gift you release becomes a doorway for deliverance, both for you and for those waiting on the other side of your obedience. Chosen one. Imagine your gift as a lamp placed in a dark valley. If you keep it covered, the path remains hidden, not just for you, but for others following behind you. Your courage to shine becomes someone else's direction. Your obedience lights the way for the next generation of chosen ones who will one day rise because you decided not to give up. The mantle is awakening because the season demands it. The world is growing darker, and light bearers cannot remain silent. The time for private faith is over. The time for visible obedience has come. That doesn't mean perfection, it means participation. It means showing up when you feel small, speaking truth when it's uncomfortable, giving hope when others are afraid. And as this fire grows within you, remember that every flame needs fuel. Even the greatest callings require community. Elijah had Elisha. Paul had Timothy. Jesus had his disciples. The mantle grows stronger when it is supported by hearts that believe in the same mission. So if this message speaks to you, if something in you is burning right now, then let's walk together. Like this message so that the flame keeps spreading. Share it so that another wandering heart can be reminded that their purpose still lives. Subscribe if you haven't yet, not just to hear more words, but to stay connected to the flow of divine encouragement that heaven is pouring out in this season. And if you feel led, consider sowing a seed, yes, giving, even in a small way. Not as a transaction, but as participation in the mission. Just as Moses' arms were lifted by others so that the battle could be won, your support holds up the voice that keeps declaring light in dark spaces. Every contribution, every act of generosity becomes oil to the flame fuel that ensures this light never goes out. This isn't about money. It's about momentum, about making sure that heaven's messages continue to reach the hearts that need them most. When you give, when you share, when you like or subscribe, you're not supporting a person, you're strengthening a purpose. You're saying to God, I believe in what you're doing here. So let your mantle rise, chosen one. Let your obedience burn brightly. Feed the flame through faith, through action, through connection, because every spark you release becomes part of a wildfire of divine transformation sweeping across the earth. This is your moment to step fully into your calling, to live as one who carries heaven's authority. The world is waiting for your voice, your light, your movement. The mantle has awakened, and heaven is watching to see what you will do with it. There is a number that keeps echoing through the corridors of heaven, a code written into the spiritual atmosphere of this new year. You have seen it in passing, felt it stirring in your heart, and perhaps even dismissed it as coincidence. But heaven does not speak in accidents. This number carries divine meaning. It is the prophetic symbol of alignment, activation, and obedience for the year that has just begun. That number is 33. You may ask, why 33? Because in divine mathematics, 33 is not just a figure, it is a frequency. It represents completion and divine appointment. At age 33, Jesus completed his earthly mission, sealing his purpose with perfect obedience. This number stands as a heavenly reminder that your season of preparation has matured into a season of action. The waiting is over. The assignment begins. Chosen one. God is calling you to align your steps with heaven's rhythm. You are no longer in rehearsal, you are stepping into revelation. Heaven's calendar has turned, and the number 33 stands as the signpost of your transition. It marks the end of delay and the beginning of divine execution. Every seed you sowed in faith, every tear you cried in secret, every act of obedience that seemed unnoticed, heaven is now gathering it all together into manifestation. It's not just about time, it's about readiness. Heaven never releases what you cannot carry. That's why some doors didn't open before they weren't withheld. They were preserved. God was waiting for the maturity that only struggle could produce. And now, he whispers, you are ready. This number, 33, calls you to act with holy confidence. It's heaven's reminder that your story is already written and your steps are already ordered. You may not see the entire path, but each step you take reveals the next. Faith does not demand full vision, it demands full trust. The prophet Habakkuk once wrote with the ink of revelation, and his words still blaze like fire. Write the vision and make it plain on tablets, that he may run who reads it. Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 2. Do you see it? Heaven is instructing you to write what has been whispered into your spirit, to bring your unseen assignment into visible form. When you write the vision, you partner with divine order. You give heaven permission to breathe on what once existed only in your imagination. Dreams become blueprints, ideas become instructions, and obedience becomes manifestation. The year 2026, this sacred window you've stepped into, is not about chasing opportunities, it's about creating them through obedience. You are not waiting for divine favor, it's waiting for you to move. Heaven will not do what you refuse to begin. God has placed power in your hands, and the number 33 is his way of saying, the moment is ripe. You've prayed long enough. You've prepared long enough. The anointing you carry has been validated by your endurance. Heaven is now calling you to demonstrate what you've received, to speak when others stay silent, to build when others hesitate, to trust when others doubt. This number is heaven's green light. It is your permission to move forward without fear. But understand this: with every number heaven releases, there is also responsibility. The 33 mandate means you must move with both courage and consistency. You can't afford to start and stop anymore. This is the season where your follow-through will define your fruit. Every unfinished assignment must now be revisited. Every forgotten dream must now be revived. Every word God gave you in secret must now be declared with confidence. Heaven's clock has aligned with your calling. The number 33 is the code unlocking acceleration. When you act, you align. When you delay, you disconnect. This is not about superstition, it's about symbolism. Heaven often speaks in patterns, and those patterns reveal timing. The number 33 is a signal that God's timing and your readiness have finally intersected. Now, pause and breathe. Let the truth of this settle deep into your spirit. You have carried prophecy long enough, it's time to carry purpose. The number is not a decoration, it's a declaration. It marks the end of wandering and the beginning of walking. Heaven is saying, I trust you with this next chapter. So, if this message resonates in your heart, if your spirit leaps as these words reach you, then seal it right now with a prophetic act. In the comments below, type 33 not as a number, but as your yes to heaven's code for 2026. Each digit represents a covenant, one for alignment, one for activation, one for obedience. When you comment 33, you are not just typing, you are testifying. You are saying, I receive my mantle, I accept my timing, I choose to move. Heaven will recognize that declaration, for it echoes the very frequency now vibrating across the realm of the chosen. The number 33 has found you, chosen one, because heaven has found you ready. The weight of divine delay, how heavy it has been on your soul. You know that feeling well, don't you? That strange ache that sits between hope and weariness. The tension of believing that God will do it and wondering when He will finally move. You've whispered it in prayer, sometimes through tears, Lord, how much longer? And heaven, though silent, has always been listening. Every chosen one walks through seasons where heaven seems to pause. It is not abandonment, it is alignment. You thought God was late, but He was actually layering your destiny with precision. You wanted a door to open quickly, but He was preparing the foundation so that when it did, it would never collapse beneath the weight of your calling. Delay is not denial, it's divine design. When God delays, it is because He is protecting the outcome from premature exposure. A seed planted too shallow dies quickly in the heat. A seed buried deep takes longer to rise, but when it breaks through, it cannot be uprooted. You are that seed. Every delay in your life has been depth training. God has been burying your roots in unseen soil so that when you bloom, your fruit will remain. You may not realize it yet, but divine delay is a mercy in disguise. If some doors had opened when you begged for them, they would have swallowed you whole. If certain people had stayed in your life, they would have diluted your anointing. Heaven's not yet was the kindness you couldn't recognize. Every unanswered prayer that frustrated you was actually God saying, I'm saving you from smaller things. Chosen one. Delay is not punishment, it's preparation. You've spent years wondering if you missed your chance, but the truth is you are being redefined. The dreams you thought were lost have only been recalibrated to fit the new version of you that has emerged through pain and perseverance. You are not behind schedule. You are being synchronized. The pace of heaven may differ from the pace of men, but it is never offbeat. The Apostle Paul, in a moment of deep revelation, wrote words that still breathe life into waiting hearts today. Now is the time of God's favor. Now is the day of salvation. 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 2. Notice that phrase now. It means that delay has an expiration date. There comes a moment when the waiting turns to walking, when the promise shifts from prophecy to manifestation. For years you have been sowing in tears, but the soil is ready now. The divine calendar has flipped. What was once preparation is becoming presentation. Heaven has declared, no more postponing. Think of the countless times you almost gave up. You thought nothing was changing, yet deep in the invisible, everything was being rearranged. God was positioning people, shifting hearts, and aligning resources. He was working behind the curtain of time while you waited at the edge of faith. You saw delay. Heaven saw choreography. The truth is, God doesn't measure time like we do. We count days. He counts development. We mark months. He measures maturity. What seems slow to you is strategic to Him. While you were growing restless, He was strengthening your endurance. You had to learn to worship when you couldn't see results, to trust when you had no proof, to believe when everything in you screamed to quit. The weight of waiting refined you. It stripped away impatience, pride, and self-reliance. It taught you to pray differently, not demanding, but discerning. You stopped asking God to move faster and started asking Him to make you ready. That shift was the breakthrough you didn't know you were having. You stopped chasing timing and started trusting His timing. And now something has shifted in the unseen. The silence that once felt endless has begun to hum with life. The air around your spirit feels different, charged, expectant, alive. That's because heaven has lifted the embargo of delay. The divine pause has ended. The doors that remained locked are starting to creak open, and you can sense it, even if you can't yet see it. But here is the truth you must hold close when heaven ends a delay. Movement becomes mandatory. You cannot stay where you've been. The same faith that sustained you in waiting must now propel you into walking. The same patience that kept you still must now become momentum. The end of delay is not a call to rest, it's a call to respond. So breathe, chosen one. Let go of the frustration. Forgive the years that felt wasted. Nothing was lost, everything was layered. Every tear, every disappointment, every waiting night, they have all converged into this divine moment. You are standing in the threshold between what was and what's coming. Heaven is whispering the same word it spoke at creation now. You've carried the weight of divine delay long enough. The time has come to move, not in fear, but in faith. The season of waiting has completed its assignment, and now, destiny is calling you forward. There comes a sacred moment in every chosen life when the chains finally break, when the invisible cords that tied you to fear, regret, and hesitation begin to snap one by one. You may not hear them shatter in the natural, but your spirit knows something has shifted. The heaviness you carried for years begins to lift. The fog in your mind starts to clear. The confusion that once clouded your faith dissolves, and for the first time in a long time, you can breathe again. That chosen one is freedom. Chosen one is... But this freedom isn't loud or chaotic, it's quiet, holy, and powerful. It begins deep within, where no human hand can reach. You've tried before to free yourself through strength, through discipline, through willpower, but nothing truly lasted. Because the chains that bound you weren't physical, they were spiritual. You were fighting visible symptoms of invisible bondage. Only divine fire could touch those links. And now that fire has come. There was a time when you mistook comfort for peace, when you stayed in places that no longer nourished your soul simply because you feared the unknown. But the Spirit of God began to unsettle you. Every false peace grew uncomfortable. Every familiar pattern began to feel heavy. That was not chaos, that was your deliverance beginning. Heaven was shaking what could not remain so that what was true could finally rise. The chains that held you were not always made of obvious sin. Some were woven from disappointment, some from guilt, some from the quiet lies you believed about yourself. Every "you're not enough" became another link. Every "it's too late" another lock. The enemy didn't need to imprison your body, he only needed to convince your mind that freedom wasn't possible. But God, merciful and unstoppable, has stepped into your story to prove otherwise. You see, the breaking of chains is rarely dramatic in the beginning. It starts with revelation, a sudden awareness that what once controlled you no longer has permission to stay. Something inside you shifts, and you begin to see that the door has been open all along. You were never truly trapped. You were just conditioned to stay small. Freedom is not about escape, it's about awakening. The words of Jesus in the Gospel of John, chapter 8, verse 36, declare this truth with unshakable authority. Therefore, if the Son makes you free, you shall be free indeed. These are not poetic words, they are a decree. When the Son of God declares you free, no power in heaven or hell can reverse it. No memory can bind you. No mistake can define you. The chains of your past, those forged through shame, addiction, failure, or fear, begin to melt under the heat of His mercy. You are no longer a prisoner of who you were. You are a witness of who He is. Chosen one. Freedom is not just your inheritance, it's your identity. You were not created to crawl in shame, you were born to walk in authority. The chains may have shaped your journey, but they cannot determine your destiny. You have outgrown your bondage. What once intimidated you now stands powerless before you. Look closely at your life. The same patterns that once repeated endlessly are breaking. The same temptations that once drew you in are losing their voice. You no longer crave what once comforted you in darkness. That's not coincidence. That's deliverance. The Spirit of God is renewing your appetite for holiness. He's replacing survival instincts with kingdom instincts. You are learning to choose peace instead of panic, purpose instead of pity, alignment instead of approval. But freedom is not passive, it must be maintained. The chains are broken, yes, but now you must walk away from the places they once kept you. You can't rebuild what heaven has destroyed. You can't keep revisiting what God has released you from. Every time you look back, you risk reforging the very links you were freed from. Freedom demands focus. You must fix your eyes forward and walk boldly into the new. And understand this freedom always feels strange at first. You've lived bound for so long that liberty can feel unfamiliar. Don't mistake the discomfort of newness for the comfort of bondage. The enemy will whisper, "Go back to what you know." But you must silence him with the truth, "I am free indeed." Heaven rejoices over you in this moment. Angels witness your awakening, and the Father smiles. The chains are gone not because of your striving, but because of your surrender. You didn't break free by power, you broke free by grace. So walk differently now. Speak differently, think differently. You are not who you were yesterday. You are a child of light, carrying the fire of the one who liberated you. The chains of fear, shame, and doubt no longer fit your spirit. Freedom has remade you. And as you move through this year, remember the sound of broken chains is the soundtrack of heaven's victory in your life. Your voice carries fire. Whether you've realized it or not, heaven has been sharpening your words in secret. Every prayer, every cry, every whisper you sent upward through the storms has become flame. When you speak now, it is no longer just you, it is the weight of heaven behind your breath. This is why your silence has been under attack, why the enemy tried to drown your confidence and bury your expression. He feared your voice before you ever knew its power. From the beginning, your words were meant to build, to heal, to declare. You were never created for idle speech. In the spirit, your voice is a trumpet, your sentences shift atmospheres. You may think you're just speaking thoughts, but when you release words in faith, you are striking the ground of eternity. The earth responds to sound, and heaven amplifies the voice of those it has chosen. Remember the moments you wanted to stay quiet, when you swallowed your truth just to keep the peace. When you stayed small because you were afraid to offend darkness. Each time you did, your spirit ached. It wasn't guilt. It was suppression. Your spirit knew that silence in the presence of injustice is disobedience to divine calling. But now, God is igniting your voice again. You're stepping into the season where your words are weapons. Heaven has always moved through voices. When God created the universe, He didn't sculpt it with hands. He spoke it into existence. Let there be light, and light appeared. That same creative power rests on the tongues of His chosen ones. The moment you speak under divine authority, what was impossible begins to respond. Chains loosen, atmospheres shift, darkness trembles. You may feel unqualified to speak. You may think your voice is too small or your story too messy. But God has always chosen imperfect mouths to release perfect messages. Moses stuttered, yet he confronted Pharaoh. Jeremiah felt too young, yet he spoke to nation. Peter denied Christ, yet became a foundation of the church. Heaven does not require eloquence, it requires obedience. The Spirit reminds us through the writings of the prophet Jeremiah in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 23, verse 29. Is not my word like fire, declares the Lord, and like a hammer that breaks the rock in pieces? Your words, when fueled by His Spirit, are not soft embers, they are wildfire. Every time you speak truth, you are striking against the strongholds of fear and deception. When you pray, your voice doesn't vanish into the air, it becomes a decree that heaven records and hell recognizes. The enemy doesn't fear your opinions, he fears your declarations. This is why it's been so hard to speak lately. Have you noticed it? The strange hesitation before you pray out loud. The feeling that your words don't matter. That's not you, that's resistance. Every chosen voice is opposed before it is anointed. The warfare around your mouth is proof of what it's called to release. Heaven has assigned you as a sound bearer, and sound bearers must speak even when shaking. But here's the truth: you need to hold your tone may tremble, but your authority does not. When your heart aligns with God's will, your whisper becomes thunder in the spirit. Your quiet obedience disrupts demonic order. Every time you say, "Let it be according to your will," the kingdom of darkness loses ground. Your words are not small, they are sacred artillery. Chosen one. You are not just a listener in this generation. You are a voice within it. You are a mouthpiece of light in a world gasping for truth. You carry the vocabulary of heaven, the language of hope, restoration, and boldness. When you speak kindness, heaven echoes. When you declare faith, the atmosphere rearranges. When you pray, creation bends to listen. So stop underestimating what comes out of your mouth. Stop labeling your prayers as simple. Stop treating your voice as ordinary. The very breath inside you is divine, breathed from the same Spirit that hovered over the waters in Genesis. To silence that breath is to silence heaven's echo on earth. Now is the time to speak again, to decree healing where there is pain, to declare peace where there is chaos, to call forth destiny where there has been delay. Your words will not fall to the ground. They will take root and bloom in the right season. Heaven is waiting to amplify your sound. If this truth burns within you, declare it right now in the comments. I will speak. Let those 3 words become your public covenant with heaven. Every time you write them, you're telling God, I won't stay silent anymore. You're reminding darkness that your mouth is under divine ownership. You're declaring that your silence is broken, that your voice will be a torch of truth. Say it with conviction. Type it as prophecy. I will speak. Heaven will hear. Heaven's ledger of obedience is open. Pages glimmer in the light of eternity, and your name is written there not in ink, but in flame. Every act of faith you've ever made, every moment you said yes when it cost you comfort, every quiet prayer whispered through trembling lips, it's all recorded. Angels keep record not of your perfection, but of your persistence. Heaven measures devotion not by size, but by sincerity. Obedience is the currency of the kingdom. The world celebrates noise, but heaven celebrates response. Every time you obey, you make a transaction in the unseen, a deposit of trust that multiplies far beyond what you can imagine. Even when you think no one notices, God does. He watches your unseen sacrifices, your silent generosity, your hidden acts of compassion. And while men may forget, heaven never does. The path of obedience is rarely glamorous. It's often lonely, uncertain, and misunderstood. But it's also radiant, glowing with quiet power. The reward for obedience is not just blessing, it is becoming. Every step you take in faith changes the shape of your spirit. You grow lighter, freer, more like the one you follow. There are moments when obedience feels like walking through fog, when you can't see more than one step ahead. Yet, even then, every movement forward is sacred. The fog may hide the destination, but obedience ensures you never lose direction or purpose. And when the road feels endless, remember that obedience is not measured by speed, but by faithfulness. Each small act of trust is a heartbeat in heaven's rhythm. Every unseen yes builds the bridge between what you believe and what you will one day see. The prophet Samuel once recorded a truth that echoes across time and still burns today in 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 22. To obey is better than sacrifice. That line may sound simple, but it holds worlds within it. Obedience is the purest form of worship. It's not a ritual, it's relationship. God doesn't seek empty gestures, He seeks willing hearts. Sacrifice gives from the outside, but obedience gives from the inside. It's saying, even when I don't understand, I will still follow. Think of obedience as a seed you plant in unseen soil. You may not see it grow immediately, but in time, it breaks through, blossoms, and bears fruit you didn't know was possible. Every yes you give to God becomes a harvest of grace. You don't obey to earn favor, you obey because favor already rests upon you. Chosen one. The ledger of heaven is not like human accounts. It cannot be corrupted, erased, or forgotten. When you obey, heaven writes in gold. When you give, heaven multiplies in eternity's economy. Every act of obedience ripples across generations, touching lives you'll never meet, solving problems you'll never see. Sometimes obedience looks like movement. Sometimes it looks like stillness. Sometimes it's giving when you have little. Sometimes it's forgiving when it hurts. But no matter how it looks, the principle remains: obedience keeps the door between heaven and earth open. And as this light continues to spread through these messages, you are part of that divine chain. When you engage, when you listen, when you respond, when you share, you become a living messenger of the same flame that has awakened your own heart. So, if this word is nourishing your spirit, let it not end here. Let your yes go further. Like this message so the light travels beyond your screen. Share it, so someone lost in delay can find direction again. When you do, you're not promoting a voice, you're amplifying a movement of awakening. You're extending the reach of what heaven is doing through obedience. And if your heart feels stirred to give, do it as an act of worship, not obligation. Donate as if you're pouring oil on an altar, saying, Lord, let this light keep burning. Every seed you plant becomes a spark that sustains the fire of hope in others. Your giving isn't about money, it's about mission. You're fueling something sacred, the continual release of God's word into the world. When you support what heaven is doing, you're saying, "Count me in." Just as Moses lifted his staff and others lifted his hands, your support lifts this message higher. It allows the voice of hope to travel farther, the words of truth to reach deeper, the fire of awakening to burn brighter. And if you haven't yet, subscribe, not out of routine, but as an act of connection. This is not a channel, it's a community of chosen ones rising together. Staying connected means staying aligned with what heaven is releasing next. Every message builds upon the last, shaping your spirit, preparing your steps. You are part of something eternal now. The ledger of obedience is recording more than what you say, it's recording what you become. Heaven is documenting your transformation, your courage, your giving, your yes. Every click, every share, every act of faith writes another line in that glowing book. So walk forward boldly. Chosen one, let obedience be your language, generosity your fragrance, and faith your signature. The pages of heaven's ledger are waiting for your next entry, and what you choose to do today will echo in eternity. The purification flame burns quietly but deeply. It doesn't roar like a wildfire, it refines like a furnace. You've felt its heat, haven't you? The long seasons when nothing made sense, when your prayers seemed unanswered, when the things you loved most were stripped away. It wasn't punishment, it was purification. Heaven was not destroying you, it was distilling you. When God calls a person higher, He does not decorate them with comfort, He baptizes them in fire. This flame doesn't consume, it cleanses, it burns away illusion, pride, and the remnants of who you used to be. It removes the dust of disappointment and the residue of fear until only faith remains. You may have mistaken this fire for rejection, but it was actually recognition. God refines what He intends to reveal. You see, every chosen one must walk through a refining season. It's unavoidable. Before gold can shine, it must endure the furnace. Before silver gleams, it must surrender to the heat. The process is painful because the impurities resist separation. But the longer the metal stays in the fire, the purer it becomes. And that's what heaven has been doing in you, keeping you in the flame, not to destroy you, but to make you radiant. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Malachi, declaring in Malachi, chapter 3, verse 3, "He will sit as a refiner and purifier of silver. He will purify the Levites and refine them like gold and silver." Think about that image, he will sit. The refiner is not pacing in anxiety. He sits steady, intentional, patient. His eye never leaves the metal. His hand never abandons the fire. He knows the exact moment to remove the vessel when he can see his reflection clearly in its surface. That's what God is doing in you. The pain has never been random. It has been the mirror-making process. In this refining, God has stripped away the layers that kept you distant from His heart. You've been forced to confront your motives, to lay down control, to release people and patterns that no longer fit your future. It felt like loss, but in reality it was cleansing. The purification flame is not cruel, it is holy. It removes what cannot enter your next season. Perhaps you've wondered, why do I keep losing things I thought were blessings? Because not everything that looks good is gold. Some blessings are temporary shelters, not permanent foundations. The fire tests what's authentic. It exposes what was built on emotion and what was built on truth. It is mercy that burns away what would have collapsed later. Chosen one, the more intense your fire, the greater your purity. The furnace of affliction is the birthplace of discernment. In the heat, you learn to recognize God's whisper amidst the noise, to trust His timing even when your heart aches, to love Him for who He is rather than what He gives. The flame teaches intimacy, and while you may feel weary, know this fire never lingers without purpose. You are emerging from this season stronger than before, though you may not realize it yet. The ashes beneath your feet are not signs of ruin, they are evidence of transformation. Every tear that fell into the fire became fuel for your next breakthrough. Every heartbreak became the spark that purifies your faith. The purification flame also teaches humility. When you walk through fire, pride melts. You learn to depend on grace, not strength, on surrender, not strategy. You stop asking, "Why me?" and begin to whisper, "Refine me." This is where your heart becomes soft again, teachable again, usable again. God cannot fill what pride has already occupied, but He can pour into an empty, refined vessel. Look at yourself now. You may still bear the scent of smoke, but you are no longer consumed by it. The fire that once frightened you has become your testimony. You can speak of pain without bitterness, of waiting without resentment, of loss without despair. That's purity, the ability to remember without being poisoned. And purity doesn't mean perfection. It means clarity. It means you can now discern what is holy from what is hollow. You can feel when peace is real and when it's counterfeit. The purification flame has trained your spirit to recognize truth instinctively. This discernment will protect you in seasons ahead. It's one of the rarest gifts heaven gives. Don't despise the flame. Chosen one. Every time you think it's over, realize that fire doesn't end, it transforms. Once gold has been refined, it can never return to its former dullness. Once you've been purified, you can never again be satisfied with shallow living. Your soul has tasted something eternal. When you step out of the furnace, you will not only shine, you will illuminate others. People will look at you and see resilience wrapped in grace. They will see peace that survived pressure, joy that outlasted sorrow, faith that outshined fear. That's what the purification flame creates, living testimonies of God's refining power. So hold steady in the heat. The refiner is not finished, but He is faithful. And soon, when the fire settles and the smoke clears, you will see it. His reflection, staring back at you from the surface of your soul. There are moments when heaven writes a new name over your life, when identity shifts, when the labels that once defined you fall away, and the light of destiny begins to reveal who you truly are. This is that moment for you. Chosen one. You are standing at the threshold of divine redefinition. The old has expired, the new has been written. Heaven is not just blessing you, it is renaming you. The season of questioning your worth is over. You have walked through fire, through silence, through delay, and now you emerge carrying the scent of purpose. You are not who you used to be. The opinions of others no longer dictate your direction. The weight of past mistakes no longer chains your spirit. Heaven has stamped its seal upon you and whispered, "You belong to me." This new identity does not come from striving or proving. It comes from surrender, when you finally let go of the need to control how others see you. Heaven begins to reveal how God sees you. That's when the divine signature appears. It's invisible to the human eye, but unmistakable in the spiritual realm. The mark of belonging glows upon you like light woven into your being. The Word of God confirms it with authority in Isaiah chapter 62, verse 2. "And you shall be called by a new name that the mouth of the Lord will bestow." This verse is not symbolic, it's prophetic. It means heaven has officially rewritten your identity. You're not the one who almost made it, the one who failed, the one who was forgotten. You are the one chosen, refined, and renamed for a new era. What others used to call you no longer applies. The slander, the misjudgment, the misunderstanding, heaven has erased their echoes. Chosen one, This divine signature is your spiritual passport. It authorizes access to new realms of grace and favor. You will begin to notice that things which resisted you before will now recognize you. Not because your circumstances have changed, but because your name in the Spirit has. When heaven renames you, hell can no longer mislabel you. You've been walking around feeling unseen, but heaven has been announcing you in places your feet haven't yet reached. There are rooms, opportunities, and connections being prepared under your new name. And just as a door opens to a key that fits perfectly, these next assignments will respond to your new identity. Don't be surprised when certain people no longer connect with you. They were drawn to who you were, not who you've become. Heaven's signature often separates before it elevates. God is not punishing you. He's protecting your new name. Some voices can't speak into this version of you. Some hands can't handle the oil you now carry. This redefinition also comes with responsibility. The divine signature means your words carry greater weight, your prayers carry more authority, and your presence carries more light. You no longer walk as a servant begging for permission, you walk as an ambassador sent with purpose. When you speak, atmospheres adjust. When you pray, foundations shift. You are no longer asking heaven to move. Heaven is now moving through you. There is also new protection over you. Heaven doesn't sign what it won't guard. The divine signature is both blessing and boundary. It declares to darkness, this one is marked. It's the same mark that kept the Israelites safe during the night of Passover. The same covering that shielded Daniel in the lion's den. The same signature that followed Paul through every storm. You are not unguarded. You are sealed. This new identity demands that you live differently. You cannot carry an old mindset into a new name. You must walk with confidence, not arrogance, with humility, not hesitation. Heaven didn't rename you so you could boast, it renamed you so you could build. You are an instrument of alignment, a vessel of awakening. The number that marks this moment is 88, a number of new beginnings doubled, a prophetic code representing balance and infinite renewal. Heaven uses it as a symbol of restoration, the merging of what was lost and what is to come. When you declare this number, you are saying, I agree with heaven's rewriting of my name. Pause for a moment and let that truth settle your name. Your spiritual name has been spoken in the courts of heaven. Angels have heard it. Demons have recognized it. Creation itself is responding to it. You carry authority now, not because of who you are, but because of who signed his name over yours. So, chosen one, as a prophetic act of agreement, type 88 in the comments below. Let it not be a mere number, but a declaration. When you write it, you're saying, I receive my new name. You're declaring that you are stepping into divine identity, walking under heaven's signature, protected by his covenant. Each digit of 88 represents a door opening on both sides, one closing the old, the other revealing the new. Heaven recognizes the number, but more than that, it recognizes your faith. The divine signature has been placed upon you, and now the earth must respond. Walk boldly in your new name, for it was written by the hand of the Lord himself. Something magnificent is stirring across the earth, an awakening unlike any before. All around the world, scattered souls are beginning to stir, as though hearing a frequency inaudible to the natural ear. It is the sound of heaven summoning its army of light. You, chosen one, are not alone. The same fire that burns within you is being kindled in countless others, across nations, languages, and generations. A divine movement is forming a rise of the new order. This is not a worldly order built by politics or power. It is a spiritual alignment forged by purpose and purity. Heaven is gathering its chosen, those who have endured the storms, survived the refining, and refused to bow to compromise. They are the ones who carry both scars and light, humility and holy boldness. This new order is not defined by position but by posture, hearts bowed in worship yet standing tall in truth. The world is trembling, but heaven is not. While chaos multiplies, God is quietly constructing his army, people who will not be swayed by fear or fame, people who live for something eternal. You are part of that army. Your endurance, your pain, your obedience, all of it has qualified you to stand among the ranks of those who will carry awakening into the darkest corners of the earth. This rising is not loud, it's holy. It's not driven by pride, it's fueled by surrender. These chosen ones are stepping forward not to be seen but to serve. They are healers, intercessors, artists, leaders, parents, teachers, ordinary people with extraordinary light. Heaven is weaving them together into one unbreakable fabric of purpose. You may have wondered why your journey felt lonely. It's because pioneers always walk unfamiliar paths. You were never meant to fit in with crowds, you were meant to find your tribe, your spiritual family, your fellow carriers of divine fire. And now, as heaven begins to summon its chosen, that tribe is awakening. One by one, the lights are turning on across the map of humanity, and together they are forming constellations of destiny. This is what the Apostle Peter described when he wrote in 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 9. You are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's special possession, that you may declare the praises of him who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. That verse is not poetic, it is prophetic. It describes exactly what heaven is doing right now. You are part of a royal priesthood, anointed not by human ceremony but by divine appointment. Your calling is not isolated, it is collective. When you rise, others rise with you. When you speak light, the darkness in others begins to break. The awakening spreads through connection, one obedient heart igniting another. This is how heaven builds movements, not through institutions but through individual, not through slogans but through surrender. The rise of the new order is not about uniformity, it's about unity. Each chosen one carries a unique sound, yet together they form a symphony of divine purpose. Heaven's harmony is built on the diversity of obedient voices. You can feel the shift, can't you? The restlessness, the calling, the sense that something bigger is happening beneath the surface of everyday life. That's the Spirit aligning you with others who carry the same fire. It's why your old conversations no longer satisfy you. It's why entertainment feels empty. You've outgrown distraction because your spirit is preparing for deployment. This awakening is global, but it's also deeply personal. Heaven doesn't just move in crowds, it moves in hearts. You are not just part of a movement, you are a movement. Every prayer you pray, every truth you speak, every act of love you release adds momentum to this rising. The kingdom advances through individuals who say, "Yes, Lord, use me." And though this new order will face opposition, it cannot be stopped. Light may be resisted, but it can never be defeated. Darkness doesn't destroy light, it defines where it must shine. You have been strategically placed where you are because that environment needs your glow. The new order of heaven is not centralized, it's distributed, countless flames burning in uncountable places. In time, the world will see it. Not a spectacle, but a shift. Not noise, but presence. Cities will feel lighter because of prayers whispered in secret. Families will heal because of one person's obedience. Entire atmospheres will change because heaven's carriers finally realized who they are. Chosen one. The rise of this new order is not coming, it's here. It's in your heart, your hands, your voice. It's in every act of courage, every moment of compassion, every word of truth. Heaven's army doesn't march in uniform, it moves in unity. You are not waiting for revival, you are part of it. The awakening has already begun, and your light is one of its sparks. Together, the chosen are rising, and the earth is about to feel the warmth of heaven's fire again. There are moments in human history when heaven leans close, when the unseen becomes tangible, when mercy and warning walk hand in hand. You can sense it in the air, the trembling in your spirit, the stillness before a shift. Heaven is speaking one final time before the next turning of the page. This is not fear, it's invitation. The last warning before the shift is never about punishment. It's about positioning. God is saying, I am moving again. Be ready. You can feel the nearness of that movement. The atmosphere around you feels charged, almost electric. The Spirit has been nudging you in quiet ways through dreams, through restlessness, through moments that feel like déjà vu. Heaven has been aligning events, conversations, even delays, all to bring you to this moment of clarity. The question that hovers now is simple yet eternal. Will you move with me? Or will you stay behind? Throughout Scripture, God's voice has always preceded great transitions. Noah heard the warning before the flood. Moses heard it before the Exodus. The prophets heard it before captivity, and the apostles heard it before Pentecost. Every warning has a purpose to protect those whose hearts are open to hearing. When heaven issues a final call, it is not to condemn but to awaken. It means mercy still flows, but the window is narrowing. As the prophet Isaiah once proclaimed in Isaiah chapter 55, verse 6. Seek the Lord while he may be found. Call upon him while he is near. That verse hums with urgency. It means there is a while, a period of divine openness, a season when heaven's door stands wide. But it also implies that this window does not remain forever. There comes a time when mercy transitions into movement, when opportunities close so that fulfillment can begin. That moment is approaching. The Spirit is whispering. Now is the time to decide which side of the door you'll stand on when it closes. The final warning is not loud, it is tender. It doesn't shout from the heavens, it stirs from within. You may feel it as conviction, as a subtle unease with old habits, as a sudden urgency to realign your life. Pay attention. That's not anxiety, it's divine alertness. Heaven is saying, don't wait until it's too late to prepare your heart. You have felt this shift coming. That's why your old routines no longer satisfy you, why familiar places feel foreign, why comfort feels costly. Heaven is transitioning you from maintenance to mission. What once seemed optional is now essential. You can no longer live halfway surrendered. Halfway hearts cannot carry full assignments. The final warning is not a threat, it's mercy's last whisper. It's God saying, I have waited long enough for your yes, but my plan must move forward. When heaven begins to accelerate, those who delay risk being left behind not because God rejects them, but because they refuse to respond. The Spirit will never force obedience. He invites it. Yet when time moves, movement becomes mandatory. The earth itself testifies of this shift. You can feel the labor pains of creation, the instability, the unrest, the shaking. It's not chaos, it's contraction. The world is groaning, not dying. Heaven is preparing for birth. Something new is emerging, and every chosen one must take their position before the delivery begins. The warning comes wrapped in love. It is heaven's final hand extended, saying, come closer before the door swings shut. The parable of the wise and foolish virgins echoes now more clearly than ever. The oil in your lamp, your faith, your obedience. Your devotion must not run dry. The ones who have kept their oil burning will not panic when midnight comes. They will rise and shine because they have been ready all along. This is your midnight moment. Chosen one. The night is darker than before, but it's also closer to dawn. The call is not to fear the darkness, but to prepare for the light. When heaven moves, it moves quickly, and those who hesitated yesterday will find today transformed beyond recognition. That's why the Spirit keeps whispering, be awake, stay ready. Heaven's warnings are never meant to crush, they are meant to cleanse. Every conviction you feel is a sign that grace is still available. If your heart still stirs, it means mercy hasn't passed you by. Don't waste that tenderness. The hardest hearts are not the sinful ones, they are the silent ones, the ones that no longer feel conviction. If you can still feel this call, you are still being invited. So quiet your thoughts for a moment. Listen, the heavens are shifting, the wind is changing, the Spirit is moving. This is not a time for hesitation or half-heartedness. The door is still open, but not for long. Step through it. Align. Prepare. Heaven's next move will not wait for delay. The journey has been long, and the road has not been kind. Yet here you are, standing in the light of understanding. You finally see it, the pattern, the purpose, the reason for every twist and turn. The crown of completion is forming above you, not as an ornament of pride, but as a seal of perseverance. Every scar, every disappointment, every delay has become gold in the hands of the refiner. This is the moment when you realize that nothing was wasted. You once questioned why certain doors shut, why some prayers were met with silence, why you had to walk alone. Now you understand those moments weren't endings. They were edges being shaped for your crown. Heaven has been sculpting your story into something eternal. The crown you wear is not forged in comfort, it's forged in endurance. Every no you survived, every not yet you obeyed, every why you turned into worship, all of it has become jewels of wisdom. As the Apostle Paul wrote in 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 8, "Henceforth there is laid up for me the crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will award to me on that day, and not only to me, but also to all who have longed for his appearing." That is your promise. The crown is not reserved for the perfect, it is promised to the persistent. It belongs to those who keep showing up when faith feels fragile, who keep believing when evidence disappears. Heaven doesn't crown achievement, it crowns endurance. You've carried your cross faithfully, and now the fragrance of victory rests upon you. This crown isn't made of gold or adorned with jewels, it's made of moments. The day you forgave when you could have hated. The time you chose patience instead of panic. The night you prayed when tears blurred your vision. Those were the threads that wove your crown. You may not have realized it, but heaven was watching, recording every act of quiet obedience. And now, as this chapter nears completion, heaven calls you to reflect not with regret, but with gratitude. Look at how far grace has carried you. The person who once stumbled in uncertainty now stands with clarity. The one who feared endings now understands they are merely beginnings disguised. You are proof that the hands of God can turn ashes into adornment. Chosen one, wear your crown humbly. It is not a trophy, it is a testimony. It speaks of battles fought and grace sustained. It tells the world that even when you broke, you did not shatter. That even when the night was longest, your faith refused to die. The glory that surrounds you now is not self-made, it's heaven-made. And as you stand beneath that divine light, allow gratitude to overflow. Gratitude is the melody that matches heaven's rhythm. Every thank you you whisper becomes a jewel polished brighter. The more you thank him, the lighter your crown feels. Because gratitude turns weight into worship. In this moment, If this message finds your heart and fills it with peace, let that peace ripple outward, like this message, so that others might find it in their storm. Share it as a candle in someone else's darkness. You never know whose spirit might be revived by the same truth that steadied yours. And if you haven't yet, subscribe not out of habit, but as a way of staying connected to this river of words heaven keeps pouring through. When we walk together, we grow stronger. The crown may be personal, but the kingdom is collective. Finally, if your heart feels stirred, if you sense that nudge from within, consider donating not as payment, but as participation. Imagine your contribution as a thread of gold woven into the next crown being formed in another life. You're not just giving, you're helping others find their light, their clarity, their crown. Every seed you sow ensures the fire of these messages keeps burning, reaching hearts that still wait for hope. And before you go, take a moment to breathe in what this word has done in you. Leave a comment below, a reflection, a prayer, even a single line of gratitude. When you comment, you turn revelation into record. You anchor what heaven whispered so that others may see and believe. Your story is not over. Chosen one, it's unfolding in glory. The crown you now wear is only the beginning of a new reign of peace, purpose, and presence. Walk forward in grace, knowing that every weight you carried was shaping the majesty you now embody. Heaven smiles upon you. You are not merely surviving, you are crowned. The march into purpose has begun. You can feel the rhythm beneath your feet, the steady pulse of divine timing pushing you forward. The hesitation that once held you captive has fallen away like old armor, too heavy for the new journey. You are lighter now, freer, more certain. What once felt like confusion has become clarity. Every trial behind you has aligned perfectly to bring you to this moment, the moment you finally begin to walk in what was spoken. Purpose is not a destination, it is a direction. It is the sacred movement of your soul in harmony with heaven's heartbeat. You are not being asked to sprint. You are being asked to march steadily, intentionally, obediently. This path may not be easy, but it is holy. Every step you take is a conversation between your faith and your future. Each footprint declares, I trust you, Lord, even when I don't see the full picture. This march is different from anything you've done before. It carries the weight of assignment and the fragrance of destiny. You no longer walk as one who wonders if they are called you. Walk as one who knows. The uncertainty is lifted. The voice that once whispered, maybe not you, has been silenced by heaven's assurance, I chose you before the foundation of the world. The past season was preparation, but this one is participation. Heaven is not just speaking to you now, it's speaking through you. The anointing that once rested quietly has begun to flow outward. Your presence now shifts rooms. Your prayers alter atmospheres. Your words plant seeds that will outlive you. This is the evidence that you are no longer wandering. You are walking in rhythm with divine intent. There is a holy gravity and purpose. It draws everything meant for you closer and repels what is not aligned. People will come and go, but destiny will remain steadfast. Do not mourn what drifts away. What is not meant to walk this road with you will always find reason to exit. The march of purpose requires lightness, no bitterness, no clutter, no unnecessary weight. Only those carrying vision can endure the pace of this journey. The Spirit of God whispers the same encouragement spoken to Joshua centuries ago. Recorded in Joshua, chapter 1, verse 9. Be strong and courageous, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. That verse is not an ancient encouragement, it is a present command. Strength here does not mean the absence of fear. It means walking forward despite it. Courage is not the lack of trembling. It is choosing movement in the midst of it. Every purposeful step you take is an act of defiance against the voice of doubt. Every day you rise and choose obedience. You are conquering the land of your calling one step at a time. This march is sacred because it reshapes your identity. You begin to see yourself not as someone waiting for permission, but as someone sent with authority. Your walk becomes worship. Your consistency becomes intercession. Even your silence becomes strategy. Purpose doesn't require perfection, it requires persistence. And with each step, you begin to notice that the world around you changes subtly. What once drained you now strengthens you. What once confused you now makes sense. The storms that once frightened you now fuel your prayer life. The same places that once intimidated you now open before you because you've learned who walks beside you. Purpose doesn't erase opposition, it outlasts it. There will still be resistance ahead, but you no longer see it as a threat. You understand now that resistance is proof of movement. Winds only press against those who are advancing. You no longer panic at obstacles. You discern them as tests, confirming that you are on the right path. Every challenge now becomes a compass, guiding you deeper into your assignment. As you march forward, your faith begins to develop rhythm. It no longer rushes in panic or stalls in fear, it flows. You walk with a quiet authority that doesn't need to announce itself. People may not understand it, but they will sense it. The peace you carry will confuse the anxious. The confidence you embody will inspire the weary. Without realizing it, you are becoming a living sermon of what divine alignment looks like. This march is not only personal, it's prophetic. With every step, you are fulfilling a portion of heaven's blueprint on earth. Your obedience becomes intercession for those watching you. Your endurance teaches them that purpose is not a reward for the strong, it is the inheritance of the surrendered. You will look back one day and realize that this was the chapter when your faith stopped being a theory and became a journey. You'll remember how you marched through uncertainty and found joy waiting on the other side. You'll see that every delay, every detour, every disappointment was a necessary rhythm in the symphony of your calling. Chosen one, keep marching. The road is radiant before you, even if it seems narrow. The light within you is enough for the next step. Heaven's cadence matches your heartbeat. You are not late. You are not lost. You are right on time, walking the very path written for you since before the beginning. There are endings that feel like silence, and then there are endings that sound like eternity opening its gates. What you are stepping into now is not a conclusion, it's a coronation. The eternal commission has begun. Heaven has seen your obedience, your endurance, your transformation. Every moment that brought you here, every fire, every tear, every whisper of faith has become a line in heaven's story about you. You have completed the preparation and entered the unfolding of divine purpose. It's a strange feeling, isn't it? To realize that what once felt like survival has become your strength. You no longer tremble at the unknown because you've seen how God works in the unseen. You no longer chase clarity because you trust the caller. You've learned that walking with heaven means letting go of control. That is what this commission requires, a heart willing to move, even when the map is drawn by invisible hands. The eternal commission is not about titles or recognition. It's about carrying presence. You are no longer just a believer, you are a bearer of glory. When you walk into rooms, the spiritual climate shifts. When you speak, peace follows. When you pray, the impossible bends toward possibility. This is not exaggeration, it's inheritance. You carry the authority of one who has been sent. There is a weight to this calling, but also a wonder. Heaven does not commission the untested. It only sends those who have been refined. You have been through the process: fire, silence, loss, waiting, and now, like a polished arrow, you are ready for release. You are not being pushed. You are being launched. Every hidden season has built momentum for this moment. Think of the way an arrow rests in the archer's hand. The tension, the pullback, the pause before release, it all feels like resistance until the arrow flies. That has been your story. Every delay, every frustration, every step backward was heaven's way of positioning you for greater distance. The eternal commission is not about beginning again, it's about being released with precision. As Jesus himself declared in Matthew chapter 25, verse 23. Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a few things. I will make you ruler over many. Enter into the joy of your Lord. Those words echo through every obedient life. Well done. They are the sound of completion, not because the work is over, but because the worker has become trustworthy. Faithfulness in the small has prepared you for stewardship of the great. You have proven that you can carry heaven's heart without distorting it. That's why the mantle rests on you now without burning it fits. Finally, as it was meant to, chosen one, you are not being sent out alone. Every time heaven commissions a soul, it sends accompaniment favor, protection, angelic help. There will be moments ahead that feel impossible, but they will unfold with ease because grace will go before you. Doors will open before your hand reaches for the handle. People you've never met will recognize you in spirit, drawn by the same light that now marks your path. The eternal commission is not about doing more, it's about being more. You have become the message. You are the testimony walking on 2 feet. You are the prayer someone else will see answered when they meet you. You are proof that God's timing is perfect and His mercy unending. The commission is simple: carry the presence, keep the fire, walk in love. Everything else will follow. You may wonder how you will sustain this calling. The answer is not in striving, but in staying connected. Just as a branch cannot bear fruit apart from the vine, you cannot fulfill this mission apart from communion. The same intimacy that carried you through trials will now carry you through triumphs. Do not trade presence for productivity. The world will applaud your results, but heaven values your relationship. And when moments of doubt arise, and they will remember this, the same God who began the work in you is the one who sustains it. The same voice that called you out of darkness will keep guiding you through every new dawn. The commission does not depend on your strength. It rests upon His faithfulness. You are not maintaining a mission, you are walking in a covenant. Look at your hands for a moment. What once trembled now glows with quiet purpose. These hands will touch lives, heal hearts, build, bless, and restore. Look at your feet, they have walked through wilderness and fire, yet they stand ready, steady, clean. You have crossed the line between preparation and purpose. You are commissioned, and now heaven leans in, not with thunder, but with peace. The same voice that began this journey whispers again, not as command, but as confirmation. Go. I am with you always. This is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of eternity's chapter written through your life. The eternal commission is sealed. Heaven moves with you. And now, beloved chosen one, take a deep breath. Let the words you've journeyed through settle into your spirit like soft rain falling on fertile ground. You've reached the end of this message, but not the end of your transformation. What began as a whisper has become a symphony inside you, heaven calling your name, heaven stirring your purpose, heaven affirming you were never ordinary. This is the moment to pause and look back, not with regret, but with reverence. You have walked through awakening, obedience, refining, freedom, identity, and purpose. Each word was a step, each truth a doorway. You didn't just read these sections, you lived them. You let heaven speak through them. And now something within you has shifted permanently. You've been marked by the journey, and heaven rejoices at your yes. But what you carry now must not be hidden. Light unshared dims quickly. Truth unspoken fades into silence. This message was never meant to stop with you, it was meant to flow through you. So let it travel. Let it touch another life the way it touched yours. If these words have awakened something deep inside you, like this message not as a gesture, but as a witness, every click becomes a spark that carries light farther than you'll ever know. Share it with someone who needs to be reminded that heaven still speaks. You might be the reason their faith flickers back to life tonight. And take a moment to comment below. Leave a thought, a prayer, even a single sentence about what you felt, what you understood, what shifted inside you. Your words will not vanish into the void. They'll join countless other voices rising in gratitude and renewal. Someone scrolling tomorrow might read your line and find their strength again. If you haven't yet, subscribe not just to follow, but to remain part of this growing circle of light. Every message that follows will be another ember of encouragement, another whisper of heaven reaching through the noise of the world to steady your heart. Carry this truth with you. Chosen one. The message doesn't end when the words stop, it continues through the way you live, speak, and love. You are now a torchbearer, a living echo of the divine voice that first said, "Do it now." The story continues through you,